Okay, we are in Snake Spring, 299 Reese Road, which obviously this is by the water. This is 1.22 acres with a cottage that was built in and around 1950s. Our current assessed value is $37,300.
And that doubled, I guess, over last year, almost doubled. Maybe 90%.
They have, we had just done an assessment 4 years ago, so there was a lot of changes that were made,
Okay.
and it was determined that the current assessment's not fair market value, so you can't necessarily compare one to the other and say, well, it went up this much. Because you can say, well, it only went up 5% in my area in the last 4 years, but the fact that we weren't on market value to start with, kind of,
You were not on market value 4 years ago?
no. We were before all the appeals and everything
Before all
was
the
kind of butchered.
across the
and-
board changes were.
Okay. Does it have on there that there's no sewage on this property? And there's no water? See, that's what I appealed last time. And I got a letter from Snake Springs Sewer Authority telling me that there's no way they could put sewage on that property because of the EPA and everything else. So there's no sewage, and so if you don't have sewage, you can't get water. So
Do you have
that's.
a copy of that letter?
I gave it to the assessment guy. Did they keep that on file?
During the last The long line, big appeal.
I don't know,
Couple
I
years
think it was a
ago.
room over here at night, and there was a guy with black hair here. That,
It's now correct.
nah, that was him?
Different one.
Or was it a different?
You sure wasn't informal?
But I got a letter from Snake Spring, he says, get a letter from Snake Spring Township, because there's no sewage anywhere on that side of the river. The nearest sewage line is what Walmart uses, and that's like, half a mile uphill through, that's all quarry over there, so.
Yeah.
There's, an EPA with their regulations, there's no way I can get sewage because it's too close to the river or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons that it was assessed that low to begin with. Is because there's no sewage over there. And now the people who, on that side, who do have septic, that's all grandfathered in, So really, that would depreciate, what is the worth if you can't, it's not livable because you don't have sewage and water. It's basically what I call a day camp. You can go there, spend the day, it's not a livable property.
Right.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons it might have been assessed so low, because of there's no sewage and no water.
Okay.
Now, I asked people across and plus the road, Grease Road going there, it's not a township or a state road, that's a private road. And I asked people across the river from me along that Camp Hartley Road, theirs wasn't too much different than mine, and they have a maintained road, they could access it year round.
Yeah.
And they have sewage and water, and theirs wasn't as far off as what mine was assessed at.
Can I give us something from?
Now, when they assessed this, they didn't know anything about the sewage on that side.
I would think probably not.
So that's awful.
Yeah, actually, when they did the survey of the property, they said the property line's actually 5 feet out in the river because of erosion.
Yeah.
So I'm 5 feet shorter
Yeah.
along the river since they last
Yeah.
did it, I guess.
Oh,
But, you can't build on it because you can't have sewage, so
Yeah.
it's,
So you have 1.28, okay.
1.2. 220, it says.
Okay.
You back that up.
And you do need four-wheel drive to get to the property down that, you know, it's not a maintained road.
Yeah,
We didn't
Right.
go that far. We didn't walk that far, we couldn't, but still.
In the wintertime, forget it.
yeah.
So that's, you know, basically, it's a, you know, a day camp, and it's not, nobody could really live there without,
Yeah, they do live on the Hartley side.
right, right. So that's
Anything else?
basically, that's my argument.
Okay.
You know, it's probably why it was lower to begin with, because of the sewage. No sewage there.
Well, we'll review everything and come to a decision, and then, I'm not sure how long it's gonna be, because we have quite a number of appeals, but.
Not heard.
Not nowhere near the last time, but,
I do.
but we will make a decision, and we'll get that in writing, and then if you're still not satisfied, you have 30 days to file with court of common pleas. And then at that time, you have to have an updated appraisal, but, updated appraisal would come, just so you know, but we'll review everything and make a decision, and then we'll get that.
One of the other people I was talking to, they were looked into filing an appeal, and they said something about there was gonna be a charge of $100 or $400 to appeal, or something, they had to get a realtor or something to do their
Probably their
own.
appraisal, maybe, that's probably what they're.
Is that something different than what this is, or?
No.
So they can appeal and it's not gonna,
If
I
they
mean,
take
if
it
they go to
to
court,
court, the
Oh.
courts require.
okay, so that's if
For-
they take it to court, not this.
Right, to come into, I mean,
Because that's what they were, the way they read it is they'd have to pay and get a realtor to do it and all
I mean,
that.
to be honest with you, the more information someone can bring in, the easier it is
Sure.
to make a decision.
Sure.
You know, we've had some people come in with some things, say, well, I feel it should be this, with no, I mean, that's,
Well, I
That's
feel I
what
have
I
some
thought.
valid points.
yeah, but, you know what I'm saying, but,
The sewer authority of Snake Spring can tell you that. I mean, I did get a letter from them last time that we went through.
We cannot legally require anybody at this level to have an appraisal, but sometimes we can tell it's probably not right, but if we don't have anything to go by, it's hard to make an adjustment.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, a place without sewage is gonna be not worth as much and maybe a harder sell than someone who has, like across the river, who has an access,
Right.
you know, maintain roads and all that too. So,
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.